Destiny 2 is a game that I have a very interesting relationship with. It's a relationship that I think teeters on being abusive. Like the Stockholm Syndrome is hitting so deep that I can't help but keep coming back, only to constantly have my ass beaten by the developers, Bungie. I get punished for wanting to dive back into Destiny 2 and sink a ton of time into again and grind it out and enjoy it. I come back once a year to Destiny 2, my old mistress, thinking things have changed, thinking that they've changed, because they have a shiny new piece of content, a brand new raid that puts stars in my eyes, and I can't resist the urge to get back into the grind and go for world first. That is still, to date, I think the funnest activities I ever do in gaming annually, which is go for world first raid completions. We never even come close, of course, and sometimes we've only ever completed the raid on day one a single time. I'll get to that in a moment. But the experience in Destiny 2 of raiding is unlike anything else. With friends, it's some of the most memorable moments in all of gaming for me. I just love it. But the big problem is, that's about all they have. They do one high effort content push per year, if that, for Destiny 2, and everything else is just filler, tedious chores, or just complete and utter neglect, with a smile on their face and a middle finger to the community. It seems like most of their focus throughout the year is spent on microtransactions from their Eververse store in order to nickel and dime and shake down people for their lunch money with cosmetics, and not fixing things that need fixing, not addressing things that need addressing, not even listening to community feedback or the player base, and just going complete radio silence until here's the new expansion and you guys are gonna buy it. We know you're gonna buy it, so get ready to buy it. I hate that this is kind of what Destiny 2 has become. I want a reason to log in and play and grind. I want fun things to do in the game, but there just really isn't. Now, I have always said Destiny 2 has so much potential, the most potential out of pretty much any product on the market. And not just from the PvE standpoint, but it also does have PvP. And the PvP could be great. It could be so much better. This is Bungie we're talking about. They made Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach some of the best fucking multiplayer games there are in the FPS genre. They could make Destiny 2's PvP an absolute fucking powerhouse of a shooter. But they don't put even a single iota of effort into it. I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm not special. A lot of the community is feeling betrayed by Bungie, even more so now than ever, thanks to their most recent post on the state of the game, where it's just such a fucking nothing burger, like a complete empty calorie sandwich that has nothing to do except just say like, hey, this game development shit's not easy, so don't expect too much, and here's our plans for the future, and it's just really underwhelming. I don't know if they're just keeping big stuff close to the chest and they don't want to reveal a lot in their state of the game post, but it's still just alarming because they don't really do a whole lot for the game throughout these seasons. For those that don't know, Destiny 2 operates on a seasonal model, so it's supposed to be getting like an influx of content at different periods throughout the year, but really the only thing that ever actually has any substance to it is when they release either a dungeon that they finally put effort into, or their new expansion with some big story moments, big story missions, and a raid. A shiny, nice new toy for everyone to play with and everyone to come together and try and tackle the hardest content Destiny offers. At least that's how it used to be. This is a controversial take in the Destiny community, but I'm just gonna say it out loud and scream it from the mountaintops. Their most recent raid in the Lightfall expansion was a joke. Root of Nightmares was a raid that me and my team completed in 5 hours, and we are a team that has literally never completed a raid on day one ever until this one. We are a team of casual players. I have probably the least amount of hours out of my group. I have close to like 1,000. Most of the others are between like 1,500 and 2,000, maybe a little bit more. But we usually never day one complete a raid. And for Root of Nightmares, one that we were so fucking excited for, we did it in 5 hours, and it just felt really deflating. Because we love the challenge. Like, there's a sick joy to banging your head against a wall in a really tough encounter for 16 hours until you finally get it. That euphoric moment when everything clicks and you complete the encounter it's so triumphant. But in Root of Nightmares, it was really, like, underwhelming. It felt really half-baked. Usually in raids, each encounter is a whole different ballgame in what you have to do in order to overcome the challenge. Of course, mechanics are borrowed from previous encounters, but they're expanded. They're given more and more depth. So you'll learn a mechanic in encounter 1 of a raid, and then you'll use that mechanic in encounter 2 in a different way, in a deeper way, in a totally different application of it. In Root of Nightmares, there was really only 2 mechanics the entire raid that never really changed. They was just rinse and repeat. They just kept copy and pasting the same mechanic over and over again. It was super, phoned in and lazy. There's only one good encounter in Root of Nightmares, and it's encounter 3 with the planets. That is a fun one. That is what we would have expected the raid to be like, where it has these really interesting encounters that have a lot of depth to them, but it's the only one. It's the exception in Root of Nightmares. Everything else is the exact same shit over and over again. It was just sad. And usually world first races last quite a long time, even for the best teams in the game. But this one was still completed in only a handful of hours. It was so fucking quick. Also, I wasn't exaggerating about the 16 hours on a single room. When we did Deepstone Crypt Day 1 a couple years ago, we actually spent 16 hours in the second encounter until we finally got through. And it was fun. We still look back on that fondly. And in Root of Nightmares, we literally took a 3-hour break. So it was 5 hours total, but the entire time was 8 hours because after the first 2 or 3 hours, we took a 3-hour break to watch the Moist Esports Valorant team play. Then we came back and then completed it in another hour and a half, basically. It was so underwhelming compared to all of the other Day 1 raids that we have done over the years. And let's not even get started on the campaign. The Lightfall campaign was a joke. They forgot that there was supposed to be a story in the Lightfall expansion. They literally forgot the narrative. So, I won't even get too deep into that. Point is, it seems the direction Destiny 2 is going is one that the community is not excited about. And it seems like it's one that's entirely either fueled by greed or laziness or a combination of the two. Because most of their effort is spent on cosmetics, it feels like. It seems like that's where most of their resources and team is allocated to, is anything microtransaction related. At least that's how I and many others feel. And less on actually improving the game or adding meaningful content or meaningful updates to it. It's fucking sad because this game has the highest potential out of any product on the market, in my opinion. Just straight up across the board. This game has the most fucking potential. The gunplay is extremely satisfying. The builds are extremely fun and versatile. Except for Warlocks for a while, pretty much all of us were using Starfire Protocol because, you could use it for pretty much everything. But for the most part, the builds are extremely versatile. They have their own unique niches that they can fill in raids and tough encounters. And there's just so much variety to the gameplay itself, so much depth. It's just such a beautiful game, too. Everything is so nice in Destiny and feels so fucking good. And when they actually put effort into the lore, like they did with Witch Queen expansion, the story was great, too. Obviously fumbled with Lightfall, but it has all of the building blocks of a fucking masterpiece. The only thing it's missing is a development team that cares about it. It's sad. It's fucking sad. And instead of putting people's mind at ease with this state of the game where it's look guys, we know you've been dropping the ball, but here's what we're going to do. We're really going to put our foot on the gas pedal and go hog wild and deliver the Destiny 2 experience that you guys really want. Instead of doing that, they instead release the worst fucking summer book report of nothing about the direction they're going with the game and what they're adding to it and what they're doing. It's just it's so flat. It's so flat, which made everyone pretty upset. I went over it on stream, so I'm just going to play the stream clips for you, but I know most of you have probably been mesmerized by what I'm wearing here. This is the newest Moist Global anime hoppy coat. You can find it at moistglobal.com, as well as many other items in this anime-inspired line, so definitely go to moistglobal.com to check these bad boys out. Did you see that the Destiny community is pissed at Bungie for their State of the Game article, where Bungie basically went, yeah, game development is hard, so we have to do the bare minimum. Please buy the final shape. No, look it up, though. That sounds very on-brand for modern Bungie, unfortunately. Destiny is a game with the most fucking potential that is never realized because Bungie's too lazy. That's so fucking frustrating. My name is Joe, I'm the game director for Destiny 2. Right now the team and I are heads down on making sure the final shape and the seasons leading up to it are incredible, so for the rest of this update you'll be hearing from a bunch of different voices that all contributed to this mid-year state of the game. Wanted to start with a quick thanks to all of you who have been playing Destiny for so many years. The way you play and feedback you give us is a huge part of how we shape our plans, and it's an honor to log in each day and play in this universe alongside all of you. Is this the major complaint? Most frequent feedback we see is that there's just not enough new PvP content, specifically new maps. Was the maps the big issue? Because I remember when I was grinding for fucking Recluse, the big thing I hated about it is the PvP is so half-baked. So dreadfully half-baked. There is so much they could do with PvP in that game if they just gave the slightest fuck about it. That is a major complaint, but not the biggest issue in the game. Oh, no, not in the game. I just meant in terms of PvP. Yeah, they've made no maps in the past 3 years. We have a Vex network-themed map debuting alongside the new Relic 6v6 game mode, the gunplay-focused checkmate modifier for multiple modes, a new competitive Ascendant Division emblem, and more. Cool emblem, I guess. So 1 new map in 3 years. W. Solid and efficient pipeline. Someone with 4K hours in the game, the community's pissed at the state of the game because they basically say that 2/3 of the game is irrelevant because of manning issues. Basically told the community that we are lazy, so we're not going to make new stuff that much. Oh my god, wait, they have Gambit in here? Ew. The update better just be, we're removing Gambit. We know this is long overdue, we forgot it was in the game, we're getting rid of it. Oh, fuck. As many of you have noticed, we've been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside the Witch Queen. In that revamp, the team made significant changes across 5 categories in Gambit. Core activity fundamentals, primeval tuning, invasions, ammo economy, and rewards. Unfortunately, these updates didn't move the needle for player engagement, although we know our Gambit fans... Stop lying. No such thing. Although we know our Gambit fans mostly care about new or returning maps, this is an area of the game with lower engagement that would take resources away from more popular parts of the game to shore up. While we don't have plans to dedicate more resources to significantly transform Gambit, we do have a few... Man, I thought they were about to say we're getting rid of it. We do have a few updates planned for the year of the final shape. These include porting the Cathedral of Scars map and its beautiful dreaming city. Who cares? Gambit's still here. Jesus Christ. Just get rid of it. Even you can't help but admit this is an area of the game with lower engagement that takes resources away from other parts. Just get rid of it. Put it down. Just fucking put it down. Oh my god. You don't update it, you don't touch it, it's fucking boring. Just get rid of it. That'll free up like 40 gigabytes off of the 200 gig download or whatever. Okay, so in summary, PvP got no real update, and that new map comment didn't go over well. Gambit is getting 1 ported map from 2018, and that's it. Then there's some quality of life changes, which are good, but that's about it. No major impactful changes. Fucking huge. So what's the statement they made about why they're so inefficient at releasing anything of value into the game? The game development hard sentiment. Do you agree that Destiny 2 is the best gunplay art style of any FPS and that's why it's still relevant? Not only that, it's the raids. Their raids, and even some of their other content like dungeons, are so incredibly creative, fun, and fulfilling. But then it's sandwiched in between such tedium, greed, and like misdirection. It has so much fucking potential, yet they put no effort into it. This is something my friends and I talk about a lot. A lot. Like, a great example is Root of Nightmares. We were so fucking hyped for Root of Nightmares, and we completed it in 5 hours day one, which we've never been able to do before. Ever. We have never day one to raid, and we did that one in 5 hours. They're not putting effort into it. To set expectations, our studio structure is built to support more overarching updates to PvP like the ones above, rather than focusing exclusively on maps. When we do focus our resources on building new Crucible maps, it comes with a trade-off of multiple teams' bandwidths on work that contributes to a variety of experiences that players also hold dear, such as a new story or exotic mission content, core activities that make up the foundation for each season, or new destinations. Similarly, bringing back reprise maps also involves extensive porting to the latest version of Destiny 2, which requires additional resources to ensure the maps work correctly for multiple game modes and playstyles for years to come. So that's where they're basically saying, like, game development's hard and we don't have real bandwidth because we don't know how to manage our teams. It will get better, they just need AI. Yeah, they're just holding out for AI. Why actually work on managing a team of people when they can just have AI do it for them? They said in a press conference a while ago they were quantity over quality, and we don't good because the players will expect. What riddle did I just read there? Did you get the statement. Did they want quality over quantity? Because they've done neither. Regardless, like I don't even know what the statement was with that comment, but regardless of quantity over quality or quality over content, they have literally done neither. They also said the final shape in its raid will provide a climactic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga, probably due to the Lightfall backlash. Well, they forgot to put the story in there. They literally forgot to put the narrative in the goddamn expansion. So yeah, hopefully this will provide something. Some kind of plot. How haven't you given up on the game yet? Again, this is a game with so much fucking potential that is just constantly unrealized. It's criminal. Do you think Destiny would be in a significantly better spot with Activision still being a part of it? It seems the game went downhill once they split with Activision, and Bungie has fooled us into thinking it was Activision's fault. That's something Jackson and I speculated on back and forth. The short answer is I have no idea on how things work behind closed doors. I really don't know. But you're right. The game has definitely gotten worse since they've been apart from Activision, which is unfortunate. But I don't know how much Activision did to help them. I think they just lost direction, most likely. Like, I don't see Activision being the thing that was making Destiny 2 good. Activision provided High Moon and Vicarious Vision to do major expansion. So were they actually like hands-on with providing like direct support to Bungie for those things? Maybe they were really helpful then. I guess not knowing the actual relationship between Activision and Bungie during development, the only thing I could see as like a positive with Activision involved is they would 100% ensure Bungie is actually working on this game. Whereas right now I feel like they just go into the office and literally play beer pong and then go home. Like, I don't know what the fuck they do all year on this game. They make like one decent piece of content with a raid every year, and that's it. Like, what the fuck do they do in between? I've seen a lot of people say that. Did they actually make that statement about not over-delivering because they don't want to set expectations too high? Because if so, that is so fucking embarrassing. Oh my god. If you haven't read the GDC 2022 conference, it's definitely worth a read. No, I haven't. I'll check it out. Someone with 3,700 hours in the game, people are shitting on it way more than it should be. I don't know what the backlash is, like the scale of it. All I can say is that even as someone who only has like, I think close to 600 or 700 hours across console and PC, probably more than that. But it's very frustrating to see how little gets added to it of value and just how comfortable they are phoning everything in and going through the motions without any real content. That's why I don't actively play. I have no reason to. Do you think Destiny can become another Anthem? No, it's never gonna like fully fail or anything. Destiny's too big to fail. I don't think that'll ever happen.